Ladies and gentlemen, our next recipient of this great honor produced a TV show that has gone down in history as one of the greats. In fact, it won a Murrow Award, not Edward R., but Irving P. And need I say more, I was a big fan, and you were all big fans. He sat across from Dana Hersey. Here he is, on your screen, Dan Berkery.
Okay, I give up. What are we doing? I give up. We're doing the Cabbage Patch?
Well, once a month, at least during the summertime.
We'll do it. Keep the 94 people working that we had for the show, the writers and the producers and the directors. And
You're right, but that wasn't enough. It was a problem.
3, Dan. 83 Leo Birmingham Parkway, WSBK TV.
It took him 5 years, but he does know the address now.
But I still don't know the zip.
And here to introduce our guest and our new inductee, somebody everybody knows and appreciates, a great play-by-play announcer for ESPN's Monday Night Football, but we remember him fondly as a Red Sox announcer. Please welcome Sean McDonough.
Thank you for reading that just as I wrote it for you, Jordan. I really don't have to say anything about Dan Berkery. I think that video clip pretty much sums up everything you need to know about that Hall of Fame career. I am honored to be here today to present my dear friend Dan Berkery. It's also special for me to be here because it seems every one of the honorees is a friend, someone I've worked with before, or at least somebody I've admired. Jerry Remy, the Rem Dog, one of the great joys of my life was working with you for 9 years, and I know we're all so happy to see you here today and looking so well. I nicknamed Jerry the Rem Dog. I'm still waiting for my 10% of the millions of dollars worth of merchandise that he sold with that nickname over the years. I also wanted to echo what Jim Coppersmith said, express my condolences to the Martin family. Tom Martin, as Jim said, is one of the great men that any of us have ever had the pleasure of knowing, and no one is more deserving of this honor today than Tom. Congratulations to your family. We've been asked to keep our remarks to 2 minutes. Those of you who know me know I really can't say hello in 2 minutes, but I'm going to try to pick up the pace now and stick to that instruction. Dan Berkery's professional accomplishments are remarkable. I could go through many of them, but you have his bio in the program booklets at your table, and I hope you'll take a minute to read not only about Dan, but the others. When Dan was the president and general manager of WSBK TV from 1981 to 1994, Channel 38 really was a national powerhouse. We were a superstation on across the country and in Canada. Dan was also an important founder and early decision maker at Nesson. But as you saw, for most of us, what we might remember most is he was the witty star of Ask the Manager, answering that viewer mail from TV 38 loyalists who posed probing questions like, how come you don't have Hogan's Heroes on an hour earlier? It truly was riveting television and remains a cult classic, I'm told, on YouTube today. But I'm here to talk briefly about Dan Berkery, the man, because some of what I'm going to tell you may not know. To me, he has always been a Hall of Famer as a person. It's impossible for me in my limited time to tell you about the numerous ways that Dan Berkery has impacted my life. But I know my life would have been entirely different had Dan not taken a chance on an already balding 25-year-old when he made him the television voice of the Red Sox in 1988. I met Dan's requirement for the job, which was I was willing to work for nothing, and I saw Ken London, one of our great producers, John Wilson, and one of our former directors, and Ken reminded me that the old adage that we applied to Dan's leadership at Channel 38 in those days was, Channel 38 is a great place to work if your parents can afford to send you there. He still throws quarters around like manhole covers, but he gave me the chance to live my dream when many had their doubts. I know if it was not for Dan, I wouldn't have the chance to do the World Series 4 years later, and everything that's happened in my professional life is directly attributable to the faith that Dan had in me. What's more significant to me, more important to me, is the man that Dan is, the role that he's played in my life and the life of so many other people who had the extraordinary privilege of working for him at Channel 38. He's been a father figure to many of us, certainly to me. He's been like a brother to me, a trusted mentor, an advisor, a role model, and about as dear a friend as I could ever hope to have. Dan and Liz and their amazing 10 children welcomed me into their family and into their home on holidays and many other occasions over the years at a time in my life when it meant more to me than I could ever express. When you meet the incredible Berkery children, you understand how truly special Dan and Liz are. 10 kids, like the Martin family, every one of them a person of great character, outstanding students who attended schools like Harvard, Cornell, Georgetown, Boston College, the University of Virginia. Apparently none of them could get into Syracuse, but it gives... So many of them terrific athletes, many of them tremendous parents themselves. They have 24 grandchildren, the Berkerys, with a 25th on the way. Liz, you're a Hall of Fame mother and grandmother. And Dan today takes his rightful place in the Massachusetts Broadcasters Hall of Fame for his remarkable career as a television executive, but to many of us, for being as fine a man, as fine a person, and as wonderful a friend as any of us will ever have. So it is truly my great pleasure to present to you, a Hall of Famer in so many ways, and now in the Massachusetts Broadcasters Hall of Fame, the great Dan Berkery.
Thank you, Sean. Well, first of all, let me thank Peter Brown and the members of the board of the Hall of Fame for this great honor. I can't tell you how appreciative I am to being here. I mean, the blood is running. I mean, it is so great to be around broadcasters. It's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. In addition to thanking the Hall of Fame board, I'd like to thank my wife, Liz, our daughter from Chicago, Liz is here. Daughter from Philadelphia, Maggie is here. A son from Westchester, Dan is here. It's going to be quick, don't worry. JP from New York City is here, and Eileen and Mark Totoro from Boston are here. So thank you for making the effort, I appreciate it. I have been very, very fortunate, as frankly all of you folks are, to be in this business. It's a business with incredibly good people. People who care, okay, people who have a sense of humor, and we're in a business that is plugged in to what's going on in the world. Witness the fact, the manifestation of that is what's happened in Houston, what's happened in Central America, what's happened in Puerto Rico. I mean, you folks and the organizations that you work for are distributing important information to all the people at home. You know, there's this theory that technology, you know, that's swallowing us up. My sense is that technology is very important, but nobody watches technology. You watch content, you watch programs, And as long as we continue to be informative and, when appropriate, entertaining, we're going to be around for a very, very long time. One of the great joys of this business, as I look out, and I heard it, Jim Coppersmith is a very dear friend of mine. But frankly, I'm tired of him getting all the applause all the time, okay? And I want to tell you, what I want to do is I'd like his wife, Jan, to stand up and say hello, because she runs the engine. Jan Coppersmith, where are you? I've had two great mentors in this business. One whom I can't say enough about is Joe Domino. If it weren't for Joe Domino, I wouldn't be in the position that we're in today. He trusted me, he promoted me, and I owe him a world of thanks. Another person who isn't here, who's a very, very close friend of mine, whom you all have to know, is Stewie Tauber. One of the great people that God has put breath into. And I'm sorry that he isn't here. Is Billy Fine here? Billy Fine from CVB, is he here? He's in New York. Well, I remember Billy when he was running around town, schlepping his bag with his little avails in it, okay? And today, then he left and he went to Baltimore, came back, and is doing a great job at CVB. Mark Lund was our local sales manager at SBK. And I mean, Mark was a key contributor in our success. Frank Comerford, who's the Chief Revenue Officer for NBC in New York, was also part of the team. And these people contributed so much to our success, okay, that we can never thank them enough. Last but not least, I want to thank Sean for coming from the West Coast to here, and tomorrow flying back out west to do a game on Monday. I appreciate it. My love and affection for Sean there's not much I can say. I just think he's one of the great individuals whom I've ever been around in my life. I want to thank you for this honor. It's a humbling experience to receive an honor when you love what you're doing. It's incredibly humbling. I wish you all, every one of you in the business, I wish you all great success and unlimited joys, and thank you very much.